Hello, I'm Jeff Pierce. Welcome to my office. I should be working on another video project, but I got distracted because people were sending me DMs about Mukesh Kapila, and I tried to write a thread about this, but it's not enough. Had to go verbal on this one because this gentleman puts out the most horrible hate speech on video and in his tweets. And one reads like this: I have met many terrible people in my life in world's worst places, but many, not all of people of Ethiopia, take record for being most horrible, racist, sadistic, inflicting repeated brutalities on each other, egged on by evil leaders. Why I say nothing good to learn here. Wow. Imagine for a moment, and this guy is a professor of humanitarian affairs. Imagine for a moment if he had written that and if you replaced people of Ethiopia with Jews are the most horrible, racist, sadistic, and so on. Imagine if he had put blacks. Why does this gentleman think it's acceptable to say this about a nationality of 110 million people? And by the way, Tigrayans are Ethiopians. Hermela Aragawi is an Ethiopian of Tigrayan descent. A activist who I met, Solomon Waldegarima, is a Tigrayan. Are you going to include, oh, but he said not all. Well, that's a nice out. What's horrible about this is the demonizing of an entire country and its people, and then claiming, oh, well, the history shows this, which is absolute rubbish. Yes, you could do that with any country. I'm a Canadian, but I'm also the descendant of British people. My grandparents were English, which arguably you could say are the most homicidal culture on the planet, which got the slave trade really booming. Went around and took over pieces of India and then all of it. Who colonized other countries and subjected them to all kinds of injustices and atrocities. You could do that with the British. You could do that with the French. You could do that with any country you like. Are we not past this time where we blame people for their history and say they're horrible people, they're racist? And this guy is a professor of humanitarian affairs. And critics say that we're supposed to be past the age of political correctness and past that. The very reason why we have movements like Black Lives Matter, like No More, like Defund the Police, is for guys like that because they think it's still acceptable to talk about that. I don't want this man deplatformed. I don't want him taken down from Twitter or kicked off video. That's exactly what TPLF advocates and apologists do. They think by silencing someone you can make us go away and blah, blah, blah. No, I believe scrutiny is the best answer. I believe you examine this crap and hold it up to the light, which is the best disinfectant, as they say. Ethiopia is the cradle of humanity. Everything that we've ever accomplished in civilization, in cultures around the world can be traced back to the African roots of that land that you say is so horrible. And I denounce in the strongest terms anybody who wants to demonize a specific country or culture, even as we fight this conflict together, whether it be on the battlefront of social media or in terms of the actual real tangible front in the country itself. You have to hang on to the notion that no, you're fighting a political entity, the TPLF. You're not fighting Tigrayans, you're not fighting Oromos, you're fighting the OLA. This is what matters. You are, it sounds like a cliche, it sounds like treacle, but you are brothers and sisters of these people all over the world. You share common bonds with them in terms of your humanity, even if you would disagree with them, even if you hate these individuals. It's their personal conduct. It's the conduct of a political organization that is at issue here. And to reduce a conflict and to slander an entire culture and a country is just absolutely reprehensible. But no, I don't want you kicked off. I want to expose you for who you are. You are a hate monger. This is hate speech. And how do we do away with that? We scrutinize it and take it apart and say, how much do you really understand about Ethiopian history? How much do you know about the accomplishments of Ethiopia's economists or its innovators in terms of science, its fascinating philosophers like Zara Yacob, the innovative and progressive kings like Johannes or Menelik, and you're just gonna, dump that all into a boat and say, nope, sail away, nothing valuable to salvage here. I reject that. I reject that thesis wholeheartedly, and I'd reject that for any culture or country. There is always the spark of innovation and humanity and just compassion in every single culture and people on earth. And if you don't get that by now, how the hell are you a professor of humanitarian affairs? I have to wonder.